Another week in the National Football League, which means another loss for the Green Bay Packers. A pathetically bad, embarrassingly sad loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Both teams going into Week 15 as a 6-7 franchise. 6-7. And the Packers find a way, once again, to be the worst team out of the two when it's all said and done. Another week goes by where the team does not show up from top to bottom. The defense for the longest time was keeping us in games, at least. But over the last several weeks, it is painfully obvious they don't want to show up anymore. They don't want to play the game, or they don't know how to play the game. The basic fundamentals have gone to the wayside. Nobody is doing anything. We're walking around as the other team scores one touchdown after another. First, it starts as a 20-yard touchdown reception, then 30. Then we're watching 65-yarders, and we're walking around aimlessly as if we're waiting for our coffee at Starbucks to be made. Nobody wants to do their job. Our defense never allowed the Green Bay Packers to win this game. The sad truth is, even if they did, Jordan Love and that offense wouldn't know how to win this game with the football. 34-20 was the final score. In our place, Green Bay, Wisconsin, Lambeau Field, Tampa Bay came in here and whooped that ass 34-20. And that's even closer of a score than it actually was, right? The score is misleading. It's a misrepresentation of the actual game, because if you actually, unfortunately, had to watch this game, you know the Packers never stood a chance. If you told me this was a 72-12 game, I'd believe you in favor of the Buccaneers. The Packers were that bad. And we're going to break down these four quarters. And I'm going to show you just how bad we were. We had a couple of times in this game where we thought maybe that was the turnaround, right? We'll talk about those positives. Unfortunately, this was another Packer game filled with negatives. In case you are wondering, we have just dropped out of the 7 seed in the playoffs, which was the final seed. We were somehow clinging to that final spot. Last week, we lost unacceptably to the New York Football Giants, and somehow we stayed in the 7th spot in the playoffs. We stayed in the 7th spot even though we didn't even show up to New York. That was a gift that was given to us, and instead of taking that gift and doing something with it, we raised our hand and asked for a gift receipt so we can return the gift. It's the perfect opportunity. You lost that unacceptably to the Giants. You regroup. You're going to be home in Lambeau Field the following week against another 6-7 team. There's no way you can lose this game tonight. And we lose it 34-20. Inexplicably. Unacceptably. Pathetically. Embarrassingly. To the Buccaneers from Tampa Bay. We didn't show up. Love is throwing the ball anywhere and everywhere, but not into a receiver's general vicinity. If a receiver was west, he threw it east. If he was going north, he'd throw it south. Aaron Jones was back, running hard. I got to give him credit off this another injury. He did nothing. Every time he touched that ball, he was running into a brick wall, it seemed. You would have thought Tampa Bay was ready for the Super Bowl the way they played today, but they're not. And I'm not even taking anything away from him. Baker Mayfield had to play a flawless game, and he did. The Green Bay Packers grossly helped him do such. The Green Bay Packers helped make Tampa Bay look as if they were a Tom Brady-ran Super Bowl team. Baker Mayfield came into Lambeau and whooped that Love ass. Baker Mayfield just made the Packers look like a bunch of pee-wee football idiots. And as Packer fans, we hear the excusenists, right? If they're the youngest team in the NFL, they're going to make mistakes. They're going to get more penalties than the average team. Jordan Love, it's his first full year as the starting quarterback of the Packers. Give him time. He'll progress. No, those are excuses for the team that we have this year to be playing this fundamentally bad in the game of football is unacceptable. It doesn't matter how young of a team you are. This is a gross amount of penalties we are getting. The delay of games is the fundamentals of football you can't get penalized on. If you're a defense, you cannot every drive, every game, watch the offense walk into the end zone and then walk to your sideline with your head down like, maybe I should have stopped them? Special teams, you can't fumble the football when you touch it. When it's punted to you, you have to hold on. It's the most simplistic thing you can do is just catch the ball and hold on to it before you take a step. You'll learn that in Pee Wee. Or just watching the ball get punted and letting it go backwards to a point where we're pinned inside the 3-yard line, like what happened today. Read the ball better. It was a nice punt. Read it. Every area of Packer football is embarrassingly bad. This is worse than growing pains, right? This is worse than just having the youngest team in the NFL. This is just fundamentally bad football being played. Not just young football. Not just, they're learning. They're progressing. Did you see Jordan Love in this game? Where's the progression? Did you see the defense? We're regressing. We're going backwards as the year goes on as a defense, as a team. And because we beat the Chiefs and the Lions when they were really good, right? We all thought, especially if you're a Packer fan like BC, we all thought this is the turning point. We're beating good teams. I think we finally found it. No, come to find out since the Lions and the Chiefs just hit their mid-season slump. It was just a few weeks later than the mid-season. But they just happened to have hit their mid-season slump. Had nothing to do with the Packers. Sad to say, but here we are. We're losing against teams like the Broncos and the Saints when they were at their worst. Do you guys remember that? 2 months ago. Less than 2 months ago. The Broncos and the Saints were at rock bottom. They used the Packers as a stepping stone for a little bit of a revival for both organizations. They stepped on us to wake up. It took the Packers, a game with the Packers, to wake them up. Oh, wait, we can play good football. We're not that bad. Look at that team. They're so much worse. Right there, the green team. Who are they? The Packers. Whoa, they suck. Leave it to us to wake up the Broncos and the Saints this year and lose to them. And now they're above us in the playoff picture. And then the last 2 weeks, you have the Giants, who have lost 8 games going into last week. 8 games. And the Packers somehow found a way to not just lose to the Giants, but absolutely look so damn bad that they never actually stood a chance. And then this week, we lose to the 6-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Lambeau Field. And we didn't just lose. We looked really bad. We lost by 2 full touchdowns, would have been more, but they showed us some grace at the end of the game, and they put a knee on it. But if you saw Jordan Love fumble the ball, he was running backwards, getting sacked, and fumbling the ball all at the same time. That's a special QB right there. To do all of the biggest wrong things you can do as a QB, Jordan Love did them all when the game was on the line at the end there. Not like we actually had a chance anyway. Game on the line. But we're down by 2 touchdowns. You got a couple 2-3 minutes left. At least try to go down the field. Let's get some points. This guy's running backwards 10 yards, being sacked, and drops the ball. They pick it up past midfield. They go for it on 4th and 3 just to screw with us, and they actually got it. They were probably shocked. Damn, we can get anything right. We can score another touchdown if you guys want. And their coach thankfully was like, no, let's show them mercy. There's 30 seconds left. Let's just keep it a 2 full touchdown game. Let's let them go with some dignity. That's my cold open. I could rant on this team for 2 full hours, but I'm gonna break down each of these quarters. I'll try to do this as quick as possible. We didn't do much at all, so that part will be quick. Tampa Bay absolutely whooped us. So a lot of this may be just telling you guys exactly how our defense, I can't even say imploded. They just didn't play the game tonight. Every drive just felt like they were just watching Tampa Bay walk on a Sunday cruise into the end zone. Guys, it's week 15 in the NFL. It's the Packers versus the Bucs in Green Bay at Lambeau Field. The Packers fall to the Bucs, get whooped by the Bucs 34-20. We are knocked out of the playoffs. We drop 4 full spots from 7 to 11. And we're no longer on the bubble even. We're no longer in the hunt. There are several teams in front of us now. So it's even if we were to win out somehow, that would take many miracles together. Even if we were to win out the rest of the season, it would take so many other things to happen. The Packers absolutely just did themselves in on today's game. They absolutely took themselves out of the playoffs. Nobody to blame but the Green Bay Packers. At this point, the only question is, how much worse does it go as the season goes on for this team? I mean, now knowing that they're pretty much done. The big question also is Jordan Love the future of this team? Guys, if there was progression, if there was somebody getting better by the week, the fundamentals were getting tightened up, I could feel more better about this. Jordan Love, I've never seen this level of inconsistency for a dude that's been in the league for 4 years. I don't care if it's his first full year as a starter. And by the way, it's 15 weeks into the season. They've played 14 games. You could put up all the side-by-side statistics with Aaron Rodgers and so how they're similar. It's the way they play the game, the mistakes that are being made, how grossly over and underthrown the balls truly are. In fact, we used to say they were just over and underthrown. Now, if you saw this game, these were balls that weren't even in the realm of the receivers. These are throws that you're thinking, what is Jordan Love possibly doing out there? Because he's not playing quarterback in the NFL. I had to question many times yet again what Jordan Love was even doing in this game tonight. And the defense, I questioned who even put that team on the field tonight. Nobody on that defense, aside from Gary, number 52, the beast, Rashad Gary. He's the only one. I wish we could just clone 11 Rashad Garys. Then nobody would be scoring. Quay Walker usually is way better than this. One of our captains on defense. Quay Walker, forget about it. This guy just looked like that's the last place he wanted to be. That's my cold open. I'm not happy with this team. I'm not happy with the performance. I'm not happy with the hustle. I'm just not happy with anything to do with this team. And it's like Groundhog Day, right? Every single week, we go into these games. We play really bad. We lose. We look dejected. We say all the cliches. We got to play better. I got to play better. We got to play better. There's a lot of football left ahead of us. We have to win out from here on out. Every game has to be a playoff type game. And then we show up the next week and we do all of the things again. It's just a vicious cycle. At what point, as Packer fans, do you just say, I've had enough? That's it. There's no excuse. I don't care how young they are. I don't care if it's his first year or not for Love as a starting quarterback. No, he's been here for 4 years. You got to play better than, you have to play better than this. The defense has to bare minimum play defense, even if it's not good defense. Play defense. Today they showed us one thing. They didn't even play defense. Not even mediocre defense, just none. I feel bad for the people that pay their money to go to Lambeau to watch this team play like this. I'm going to get a swig of coffee. Come right on back. We're going to talk Green Bay Packers versus Buccaneers, Week 15, 34-20. The Packers get their asses whooped, and it's deserved. They earned that whooping by playing so pathetically bad. Packers, Bucs, Week 15. Let's talk about it. First quarter, the Bucs go up first with a field goal early on, 3-0 Tampa Bay. Not how you draw it up during the week in practice if you're the Packers, but we're going to start this game off in a hole, 3-0. Now the Packers battle rocket right back down the field. We get to the 7-yard line. Couple of runs by Aaron Jones to no avail. He doesn't even move the needle. And it was good to see Jones back. And he was running hard. But every time he touched the ball in this first quarter, it was like he was running into a brick wall. That Tampa Bay defense stopped him. So it's 4th and 2. At our 7-yard line, bare minimum, we're going to walk away with a field goal, tie this game up at 3, right? That's what you're thinking. And the way we've been playing this season, BC is saying just take the 3 points and hope for the best. But Coach LaFleur showed up ready to gamble. Probably was wishing he was at a casino rather than the game, because every time he shows up on a Sunday afternoon to Lambeau Field or wherever the Packers are playing, Coach LaFleur leaves the game with more gray hairs than he showed up with. Poor guy. So he's going to gamble. It's 4th and 2. Let's go for it. BC's like, that's not just a normal gamble. That's putting all your chips on the table, because Jordan Love has shown you he is Mr. Inconsistency. The only one more inconsistent than Jordan Love in the NFL, I feel, is our field goal kicker, Carlson. Maybe that's the reason LaFleur made the gamble. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So they go for it. Again, it's 4th and 2 at the 7-yard line. So you know it's going to be a simple slant, and it was. And what happens next, I'm not even being overdramatic on this. I'm not embellishing. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not joking. What happened next by Jordan Love was one of the worst thrown footballs I've ever seen in my entire existence. In the NFL, or from Pee Wee, anything in between. You can take your nephew out in the backyard and start tossing the ball, and you'll get better thrown balls in the backyard than what Jordan Love tossed into the end zone. He didn't even toss it into the end zone. Let me tell you what happened. So we get the simple slant. Jordan Love heaves the ball 5 yards past the out-of boundary. It's not even near our receiver. It's almost in the front row. That's where Jordan Love threw the ball. And in case you're wondering, we'll see if you didn't watch the game, maybe it was really tight coverage. Nope, our receiver was beating the defender. It was good coverage, but our receiver was ahead of the defender. Bare minimum, you had a 50-50 chance of completing that pass. The quarterback just has to do the bare minimum. Get the ball in the vicinity of the receiver, he'll do the rest. So what I'm saying is you got to be an okay quarterback in the league, a mediocre quarterback, and just do the bare minimum. And we have a chance of scoring that touchdown. Jordan Love heaved the ball out of bounds, and he was trying to complete the pass. That's the sad part. He wasn't just trying to kill the clock or throw it out of bounds because he doesn't think he has a play. He tried to hit the pass, and he just chucked it out of bounds. It's 4th and 2. It's 4th and 2 at the 7-yard line, goal line. You can't do that. It's almost in the front row. I've never seen a ball. Guys, 30 plus years watching NFL football, I've never seen a ball thrown that badly at such a crucial time in the game. Such a crucial play, I should say. And that's why so many fans of the Packers, that's why we wave a red flag. That's why we have those concerns about Jordan Love. We understand it's the youngest team in the NFL. We understand this is Jordan Love's first full year as a starting quarterback. We get it. The problem is you have to start looking at the areas of progression, getting better. The fundamentals that should have already been ironed out by a starting quarterback that's been in the league for 4 years. And that's what Jordan Love is producing on a week-to-week basis. It ain't getting better. There's a few passes he absolutely connects with, and a couple 2-3 every now and again where it'll be a big play, a gem. But more times than not, what you saw on that play, that's Jordan Love. That was just on a whole nother level of horrendous. I mean, he keeps he keeps taking the gold medal from himself, right? He keeps topping himself with how bad he's throwing the football this season. I've never seen anything like it. And that's why many fans are saying you could put up all the graphics you want. Look at Aaron Rodgers' first season as starting quarterback and Love's. It's almost so similar. Doesn't matter. Look at you realize how many games that could have been won this year alone if just Jordan Love made one or two plays differently. Now, of course, it's a team effort why you lose, but you could easily say so many games this season fell on the QB. That's why that position is so important. That's why the QB gets so much credit with a winning football team. And that's why they have to get so much thrown at them when they lose. Because for the Packers, I can speak for the Packers when I say, because I watched every game, every play. Some of these games more than once, unfortunately. And I can tell you a lot of this falls on Jordan Love's shoulders. And that was a missed 7 points. We didn't even get 3 points out of it. That was 4th and 2. Guys, if you didn't see the game, you're probably thinking, BC, was it that bad? It was that bad and then some. But because there's a lot more game to go over, I will move on. That is why we wave the red flag when it comes to Jordan Love. Those are passes you cannot miss even in Pee-wee football, middle school, junior high. Those are passes a quarterback cannot make or cannot miss by that many feet, yards. It's 4th and 2 at the 7. It's a slant. And he throws it nearly in the first row. So, what happens when it's 4th and 2 and you don't connect? Well, the opposite team gets the ball. And that's what happened here, right? So, Tampa Bay gets the ball at the 7-yard line. The defense doesn't just step up. Our defense takes control and takes the ball from Baker Mayfield. I thought it was a fumble. No. What happened was we just took the ball from Baker. The ball never hit the ground. And we got the ball back at the 5-yard line. So for Jordan Love, this could have been the talk of the entire game, that missed opportunity, that horribly thrown ball into the end zone a couple plays earlier. That could have been the talk of the town. The defense stepped up big for Jordan Love. They got that ball back relatively right where Jordan Love gave it to them. In fact, 2 yards better, 5-yard line now. And a couple plays later, Jordan Love hits Tucker for the touchdown. TD pass puts the Pack on the board 7-3. So when it was all said and done, it ended up being no harm, no foul because the defense stepped up and we ended up getting points. But still, if the defense didn't do that and Baker just battle rocketed down the field and scored another touchdown, we're put in a hole where the Packers have shown you we can't dig out of that. That's the problem. So yeah, Jordan Love. Christmas for the defense. He better be buying some nice Rolexes. No, he's not making that type of money yet in the NFL. Well, he's got to get him some nice gifts because they bailed him out of that. That would have been the talk of the town, that play. Good stop by the defense. And listen, you're at the 5 now. If you cannot connect with a touchdown here, Jordan Love shouldn't be in the league. Thankfully, that connection with Tucker put us on the board 7-3. That was the first quarter. Quarter number 2, the Packers defense doesn't even take the field at the start of the quarter. They didn't even take the field. That's what it seemed like. Because the Buccaneers go right down the field for a way too simplistic touchdown. It's not even methodical. They just storm down the field like joking around, high-fiving, giggling, and our defense is just giving away chunks of yardage. Before you know it, if you snapped a finger, blinked an eye, dropped your hat, they were already in the end zone. So that was 10-7 Tampa Bay, start of the second quarter. Now the Packers work really hard to get themselves into a manageable 36-yard field goal attempt. Of course, with Carlson, you just never know. But Carlson ended up hitting this field goal, 36 yards, and we're able to tie this thing up 10-10. Now the defense holds up big. Next Bucs possession, number 52, the beast, Rashawn Gary, forces a punt. And this punt was a beauty by the Buccaneers. 66 yards, flawless, no return. So it pinned Green Bay at the 3-yard line. Not what you want to see, especially with the way Love's been playing. Packers start their next drive again, pinned at the 3. The referees do everything imaginable to help us, right? They give us a big PI call, massive pass interference because there was none. The dude had his arm a little bit in our way. It was not a pass interference for 30 plus yards, but we got handed a nice gift. Then Love is about to get sacked, so he heaves the ball, intentional grounding because there was no receiver in the area. Our receiver was running that cross pattern, but he was nowhere near it. The ball was so far behind him, it might as well have been out of bounds. But Love, he got the pass. He was not called for intentional grounding. So, I mean, the referees were trying to give us so many gifts, but we did nothing with them. Instead, we just asked for a gift receipt because we returned the gifts. In fact, we forced the referees to have to call a penalty on us. Jordan Love got hit with a 5-yard delay of game on 3rd down. Delay of game penalty on 3rd down, and we're forced to punt. So after everything that the referees did for us, Jordan Love just watches the clock hit 0. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, right? Clock management has always been the Achilles heel. The kryptonite for the Green Bay Packers, right? It's always been. Aaron Rodgers would always call all our timeouts way too early in the quarter, in the halves. All of them, because he just saw the time winding down and he wanted to relax. He didn't want to rush into anything. So he calls timeouts. And before you know it, we have no timeouts left. It's like the 3rd quarter. We're going to need those. Jordan Love, thankfully, he doesn't call all the timeouts. No, he just watches the clock go to 0. What if we had everything situated by 5 seconds left on the clock? What a crazy concept. 5-yard delay a game when the referees helped us out with everything on that drive. We somehow are forced to punt. That tells you how bad we are, at least at this point in the game and the rest of the season. At this point, you don't even know how we're going to play another half of football because we're just not playing good. So we punt the ball, and there's only a few seconds left, but the Bucs make our defense look like a peewee team. They just go all the way down the field, getting field goal position, and they kick a field goal through the uprights. They get 3 points when we should have had them pinned on their side of the 50. And we're just giving up 20, 30-yard chunks of field. If they had 6 more seconds, they would have scored a touchdown. And we go into halftime 13-10 Tampa Bay on our home field, Lambeau Field. At home, 13-10, Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield is whooping that ass. Think about that, please. The Bucs start Q3, second half, with a 26-yard touchdown. Baker hits his receiver, and the dude just waltzes into our end zone. Just walks right in, and our defense just watches him. And after the play, they're just all walking around casually, like, oh, shucks. Would have been cool if we stopped them, wouldn't it have been? Would have been cool if we did our job. The entire game, this was our defense. Just watching them waltz in. The whole game, if you want to sum it up, it was just watching them go into the end zone nonstop. 20 yards here, 30 yards here, 60 yards. It didn't matter. We're just going to watch it go. And if you want to run it, we'll give you 5, 6, 7 yards a chunk. We're standing around. Our defense is standing around while they walk into the end zone. We're standing around like somebody is making our coffee at Starbucks. No pulse behind this team. Jordan Love could miss 10 completions in a row. 5 of them could be in the first row in the stands. And there'll be that shot of him on the bench, just kind of like, woe is me. Woe is me. Just looking clueless. But you see, that's just his character. He's a calm dude, man. You know, he's RELAX. You know, he keeps his emotions in, and he's kind of just chill. Let's do the opposite. Let's get somebody amplified in there, getting pissed off, ready to rock. No, sitting on the bench, he's got his little thing. He's cold. He's all cold. He's like, oh, man, maybe next time I'll do better. Maybe, right? Maybe not, though, right? I mean, after 13, 14 games in the season, maybe not. But this isn't even about this is the defense. This is the defensive turn to get a rant laid on them. This was just not the way. You come out of the half and you let them just get 26 yards of just simplicity on you. And it gets even worse, by the way. This was one of the worst halves. You thought the first half was a crap fest for the Packers. This was just the beginning of the second half. And this already tells you the trajectory of this game. Second half starts with 26-yard touchdown Baker to his receiver. The Buccaneers now lead this game 20-10. We just started the third quarter 20-10. Now the Packers answer back. This I believe, glance over my notes, this may be the only good thing we discuss in the second half for the Packers, so let's really take this in. The Packers answer right back. Love began the process, at least for the time being. We thought at the time this was Love beginning the process to make up for that terrible, and I do mean terrible, pass in the first half into the end zone, and he throws it into the first row. This, we believed, was maybe the turnaround. Because in this drive to answer back in the third quarter, Love hits Wicks. Good to see Wicks in there. He was questionable for a while there to even be in this game. But he hits Wicks to save the drive cross midfield. But it's the touchdown pass that he hits to rookie Jayden Reed. This was a thing of beauty. Jayden Reed is crossing to the end, literally going into the corner of the end zone. He's running out of real estate. He turns, no matter what, he knows he's reached the end of that real estate. So he just keeps his toes planted and he just kind of falls forward and he's hoping that the ball is going to be where it needs to be. The problem is it's Jordan Love. 9 out of 10 times, that ball is going to be nowhere near where it needs to be. You're going to have to go above and beyond, literally. Watson will tell you that. Above and beyond just to bring that ball down. But something happened here. It was a little miracle. I think it was a misfire miracle, right? It was a miracle that was not supposed to happen. But the powers that be botched, and Love had a miracle. And the ball was exactly where it needed to be, and Jayden Reed, rookie Jayden Reed, pulled that thing in. This is his 6th touchdown of the year, completion-wise, as a receiver anyway. He's also got 2 rushing touchdowns, 8 combined on the year. But this is Reed's 6th touchdown completion of the season. So for a rookie doing the things that he's doing with a quarterback that is so erratic, you got to give Reed a lot of props. This ball was on the money by Love. And Reed is most likely getting a bigger Christmas bonus this year. Let's just say that. 20-17 Tampa. So we're playing really bad. Right? There's no other way to put it. We're playing really bad. But such is the case for most of this season. We kind of stick around for a lot of these games, right? Even a few of them we lost by just a point. But if you watch the game, you could easily make the case that we could have lost by 100 points and you would have believed it. That's how bad we played. It's just the other team played, they tried to give us the W, right? They tried to play worse than us, and then they found out late in the fourth quarter, it ain't happening, bro. No matter what we do, we can't be worse than the Packers, and they're forced to beat us. There's been games like that this year. But this is another game where we're playing really bad, and somehow we're just sticking around. So it's giving a lot of fans hope, right? So that makes, if you're just tuning into the game, and especially if you're a Packer fan, you're thinking, all right, well, we're in this, right? We must be playing good. No, not the case at all. It's a false representation of the game itself. But somehow we always stick around, and here we are, 20-17. But it was at that same time that Tampa Bay said, enough. Hold my coffee, hold my beer, hold my beverage, hold everything. Let's just end this. This team sucks. We're both 6-7. Let's end this right now. We are securely winning our division. We're in a higher seed in the playoffs. They're barely hanging on. Let's put them out of their misery. And that's what Tampa Bay did. Tampa Bay, once again, simplistically takes a Sunday cruise down the field and scores another touchdown. Our defense is just watching them at this point. Guys, I'm not even exaggerating. I mean, they're showing replays, and it's just backing up everything I thought upon the original viewing of the play. The replays are just solidifying what I witnessed. The defense isn't even trying. They're just walking around. They're bumping into one another. When the play is done and they scored these touchdowns, they're just walking around aimlessly. Like they don't know what to do next. Get off the field. They scored. You're done. Wait till it's your turn to get back on the field so you can watch them score again and dig our hole even deeper. They just simplistically went down this field, guys, and just the ease that they were scoring touchdowns. You would have thought Baker Mayfield was Joe Montana, Tom Brady. It's 27-17, Tampa Bay. And as the third quarter came to a close, as a Packer fan, we were forced to come to a harsh realization. We have to score touchdowns on every drive from here on out. Right? As a Packer fan, I strictly remember it was 20 seconds left in the third quarter. It's 27-17. They just easily scored another TD. At this point, it's just so easy that you now know our offense has to score a touchdown every single drive. And our defense, I mean, we just have to hope that we get one big stop, score on every drive a touchdown, and maybe we're in this thing at the end. Maybe. And then, of course, the problem with that is our defense has not played a single snap in this game thus far, and we're going into the fourth quarter. So fat chance that our defense is going to stop them at all. And then we have to score a touchdown on every drive with Jordan Love. Yeah, laughable, I know, but as a Packer fan, that's the only hope we had to cling on to. So we need to score a touchdown on every drive going forward, and that is exactly what did not happen. The very next drive, we put together a very pedestrian drive, and it ends with a field goal, the exact thing we don't need and is not going to get us anywhere. We get a field goal. They're scoring touchdowns every drive. We're settling for threes. It's the old school example of they're playing chess while we're playing checkers. We're putting up threes. They're putting together sevens. So we get our measly 3 points so the optics look good, right? 27-20 now, Tampa. It's only a 7-point game, one possession, right? The optics look good. So if you're just tuning in and you haven't been watching the game, right? Because if you watch a game, any game, no matter what sport, no matter what the score says, you can always get a feel of the game, right? You pretty much know who's winning from the jump because there's always a flow. There's a vibe. There's just this aura and this presence of the game. And even though the score could be very close, it just feels, it's different. You know it's not. That's been the Packers all season. The score may be close a lot of these games. These Packer teams, every single week, are atrocious, and I'm being generous. So it's 27-20 with this measly field goal. And again, at that point, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have already decided they're not playing with us anymore. So they scored that 7. We retaliated with a 3, and they're like, I don't think you understand. We're scoring touchdowns. You may want to stop with these little field goals because that's what Baker did. The very next drive, Baker connects on a 60-yard touchdown reception. And most of that 60 yards was yards after catch, the yak. So he caught it maybe 20, 30, and the rest of the 30, he just waltzes into the end zone. Sound like a common theme? And our defense is watching him. Oh, should we stop him? No, let's not. Oh, that is our job, right? He's already passed me. There's no use. One guy actually did. I forgot which one of our defensive backs tracked him down, and right as he crosses the plane, he kind of like had the ball out, and it gets knocked out. They actually had to review this, because if that was a few inches the other way, he would have actually fumbled the ball, because he was celebrating too early. But no, if you watched the play in real time, he was just crossed the line. He knew he crossed the line and scored that touchdown. But 60-yard, guys, that is unacceptable on every level of football. It doesn't matter if it's just the NFL or even just pee-wee football when you first begin playing football at 8, 9 years old. It doesn't matter through junior high school football. The fundamentals of football on a defensive side of things is never let 60-yard touchdowns occur. Especially when the whole game you've been letting 25, 30-yard touchdowns go right by you. That's another whole rant. It's 34-17 right now at this point in the game. 34-17. And the Packers can't even make it close after that. They can't even make it close. There's only about 6 or 7 minutes left in the game anyway. But the next drive, 4th down, Love runs back. It's 4th down, right? The season is on the line for all intents and purposes. The whole season is on the line right now. You're clinging on to the 7th position. The last spot in the playoffs. And I don't even know how we were still in it because that loss to the Giants was unacceptable last week. That seems to be my word for the Green Bay Packers of 2023. Unacceptable. Somehow we stayed in that 7th spot. We're fighting for our playoff lives. 2 weeks ago, Jordan Love said, from here on out, every game has to be played like a playoff game. Well, if this is Jordan Love and how he plays in the playoffs, in the Packers, how they play in the playoffs, we have no business being there anyway. But we're fighting for our playoff lives here, and it's 4th down, and Jordan Love runs backwards 10 yards. Then he's in the process of getting sacked, so it's not even like he ran 10 yards back to get away from people. That was his intention. Didn't work. So then 3 people are trying to take him down, and he's like, what do I do? What if I drop the ball? So he just drops the ball. Maybe he was trying to, I don't know what he was doing. He's running backwards, he's getting sacked, and he's fumbling. He's doing all 3. You did all 3 of them. You ran backwards, you fumbled, you're getting sacked. Only Jordan Love. So he drops the ball across midfield, and then the Buccaneers just pick it up. And they're like, what do we do? I mean, we should just ice the clock here, right? Or just fucking let it go. We should just take the knees. But we're so close to another score. Should we mess with them a little bit? Should we score again? So they were actually taking some timeouts, running some... I mean, they were thinking, let's score again. We're right here. We might as well. I mean, they're that bad. We shouldn't feel that bad that we're scoring this many points. They're just giving it to us. So the Bucs, oh yeah, that's what it was, right? Yeah, that's right, man. The notes just reminded me. It was a 4th down to show you that they were kind of messing with us even more, even though they had the game won. It was a 4th and 3. They could have just maybe punted or ran around a little bit, whatever. Yeah, we ain't scored 2 touchdowns with the couple minutes that we had. But it was a 4th and 3, and they just went for it. They went for it, and they got it because we're so bad at defense. There's no way we're going to stop a 3-yard run. You guys thought it was just passing that we were horrible at? No, we were giving up 5, 6, 7, 8-yard chunks at a time. When they ran the ball, too. The whole defense just took the entire game off. And progressively every week, we've been seeing them getting worse and worse. But they just let them get 4th and boom, just walk, get the 1st down. And by that point, it was done. 34-20 is your final. The Buccaneers didn't just come into Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, and win the game. They beat the shit out of the Green Bay Packers. Beat them up. That's what happened. And for anyone to go, 34-20 is not that bad. No, again, this game could have ended 34-31, Tampa Bay. And I would have told you it was a whooping for the ages. The Packers played horrendous football. That's a theme for the year. Even in some of our victories, we played horrendous football. When we beat the Chiefs and the Lions, 2 of the best teams in the league, especially right before we beat them, we found out in the past couple of weeks it's only because they hit their mid-season lull, right? They hit their mid-season slump. There you go. I can think of it. They hit their mid-season slump. I wanted to give the Packers all the credit. We finally made the turn. We're beating good teams finally. No. The Lions hit their slump and the Chiefs hit a slump. That's what happened, and we were in the right position. You're talking about a team, guys, that this year alone, top of my dome piece, has lost to some of the worst teams in the league, or at least at the time that we were facing them, they were the worst, like the Saints and the Broncos. We were the stepping stone that brought those teams back to life. We lost to them, both. We lost to the Giants, who came in last week with 8 games in the L column, and we lost to the Giants last week. We lose to the Buccaneers. They're tied with our record going into this, 6-7. At home in Green Bay. Could you imagine if we just played decent football? It doesn't even have to be good. Decent football. Decent football where the defense actually played as a defense and did defense. Their job was defense and they actually did it. Could you imagine if Jordan Love actually connected on crucial plays? That greatly alter these games. The youngest team in the league. Jordan Love's rookie year as a starter. All the excursionists. It doesn't get away from the fact that the team we have now should be a lot better than this, and they're not. I'd love to blame this on Coach LaFleur, but the level of play, complacency, lifelessness, botches, mistakes, inconsistencies that I see in these players from top to bottom, offense to defense, special teams, and anything and everything in between is unacceptable. 34-20, the Bucs go to 7-7, secure their spot in the playoffs, or at least a step closer to doing such, and the Packers fall to 6-8. And I don't know, we're absolutely out of the playoffs now, but let's see where they have us with more games to be played, obviously. But let's just see where they have the Green Bay Packers right now. We were hanging on to the last spot at number 7. This is the Packers doing it to themselves. And currently the Packers are at, are we even in the hunt? Hold on, it doesn't even want to give it to, right? You put in Packers playoffs, it doesn't even want to give you anything about them. Nobody wants anything to do with the Packers right now, and I don't even blame them. So the Packers are not even in the hunt anymore. We're not even in the hunt. We fell from 7 to 11, so in the hunt is obviously 8 to 10, 8, 9, 10. Those are the 3 teams right there on the bubble, it's called. The Packers just lost 4 spots. The Broncos are ahead of us. The Falcons are ahead of us. The Seahawks are ahead of us. Wow. So the NFC, it's the Broncos, Falcons, and Seahawks all just went ahead of us. The season's pretty much done now. We would have to win out. And at this point, playoffs? You're talking playoffs? We're just trying to win a game. We're trying to get first downs right now. We're struggling to get consistent first downs. And BC's talking about playoffs, right? I'm talking about playoffs. We're trying to get first downs. And then we can graduate to maybe winning games. We're a 6-8 team. And you can make the argument that we're a 2-12 team right now. I'd love to rant another hour plus, but I got things to do, and I don't even want to give this team another ounce of my energy at all. That's the Packers in Week 15. Another L. This one catastrophic. This one takes us out of the playoffs. And what's next week? Hold on. You know what? Let's see what we even have. It doesn't even matter anymore. Because when you see losing teams, you're like, oh, maybe we have a chance. Let's see who we have next week, guys. We will be... what do we got? December 31st. What? Oh, no, we have the Panthers, the 24th, Christmas Eve, 1 p.m. Christmas Eve, so that should be televised for all you guys to see if you're outside the Green Bay market. But the Panthers, it doesn't even matter if they're good or not this year because the Packers will find a way to be worse. 6-8. I'd love to end these with go, Pack, go. But you know what? The only place they should go is right back to the film room. And don't leave that film room until you figured out how to play football. Once you figured out the fundamentals of football and you don't embarrass yourself every week, then come out of the film room, right? Maybe you all should have joined Aaron Rodgers in the dark. None of you come out until you got it figured out. Name is BC Amplified. Till next time, and there will be that next time. Current status, we are out. Check you.